having, in the last 24 hours, been called a sex offender, a complete fuckwit, and being told in an aggressive way that somebody wanted to actually rape me, I wanted to do another video to show the trolls that they can go fuck themselves. If they don't like me, if they don't like my mask, if they don't like my voice, then they can join the other 66,998,143 people in the UK and don't bother watching my fucking videos. Now, I know these articles are from the Daily Mail, okay, but just bear with me. How can you not comment when you see headlines like these? And it's not about any single party. They're all as bad as each other. Let's start with this. Liberal Democrats. Parliamentary candidate warned not to be associated with Nick Clegg to stand a better chance of winning. Nick Clegg has become political poison. And I can see why even members of his own party cannot fucking stand him. This man has sold his soul for power. He has let down everyone to do with the Liberal Democrats. He has single-handedly destroyed the Liberal Democrats because he was too power-crazed and he wanted to be able to say that we are part of government. He wanted to be able to say that so much that he would do anything, say anything. And he is thought of now, literally, as a piece of shit on people's shoe. Of course, this video clip didn't help.
Keep the smiles up.
Nick, 4 years ago, I asked you, what were you going to do about institutional paedophile operating in this country now? Your reply to me, Nick, was, I don't know what you mean by institutional paedophile rings. Do you understand what I was talking about 4 years ago now, Nick, and stay in my eyes?
Talking about taxes, thanks very much.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Gotcha. What about Leon Britton? When are we going to get him out?
Go.
What about Ben Fellows? What about
and this is why I didn't want to build it.
Where are they?
He looks so weak here, so pathetic, so unleadership-like, if you know what I mean. He looks so out of his league, running away like a scared little puppet. So I guess he looks like he's getting what he deserves. Nick Clegg, set to lose his seat as more than half his 2010 supporters jump ship to Labour and the Greens. He really is a vile man, Nick Clegg, a spineless puppet. The only sad thing about Clegg is that he will probably become a lord for serving the system so well and going against everything that he stood for and everything that the people who voted him into power stood for. Labour grandee calls for death tax on old people's home to raise cash from children who win the lottery with their inheritance. So, you work really hard in life, you manage to buy a large house, pay for it over however many years, and once you die, David fucking Bunkum here wants to be able to basically take it off you and give the money to the state. I got a creepy feeling when I read this article. There's an underlying agenda to make us think that the state is God and that we must do everything for the good of the state. Haven't we heard that before? Whilst allowing the state to give us hardly fucking anything in return, unless of course you're a banker. This is the type of policy that if it was ever put on the books, that MPs would vote for it not to comply to them. That's the type of thing they would fucking do. They are disgusting, MPs. 11% pay rise, anyone? But this article takes the biscuit and proves that Cameron will do nothing for average Joe if he gets back in. Revealed, half of Britain's richest hedge fund chiefs have given cash to the Tories, ploughing 19 million into Cameron's election war chest. Half of Britain's richest hedge fund millionaires have given cash to the Conservative Party, new figures have revealed. Of the 59 wealthiest city managers, 27 have ploughed 19 million into the Tories' election war chest, with 10 million flowing into the party's coffers since 2010 alone. The revelations come after Ed Miliband yesterday repeatedly challenged the Prime Minister over the Conservative Party's link to the city. This is, of course, Cameron's blackmail money. Let's call it what it is, because once it's accepted, Cameron is now going to have to do all he can for the bankers when the next crash happens. Are you ready to pay for the bankers' gambling debts again? Wasn't the estimate of £1 trillion enough last time round? I've got a really bad feeling about this year coming up. I don't know what it is, but I've just got a niggling feeling that something big is going to happen. Can you imagine what our country's going to be like once the next round of cuts take place? I read somewhere that Osborne is looking to cut a further 21 billion from the welfare budget alone. As I've said before, it's obvious that there are so many benefits programs on the mind control box, showing people who refuse to work, have loads of kids so they can't work, etc. And it's all to mind control you that everyone on benefits is like that, when that simply is not the case. So, when the cuts happen, and when they're announced, you'll just sit there and nod and say, yeah, that's right, let's get them. We will begin to look like a third world country in some parts of the UK if we cut another 21 billion from the welfare budget. But what do? Do we riot? Is that the answer? Well, that's exactly what the globalists want, because if we riot, if we fight back, then they'll just clamp down even further on our freedoms. Do we try and wake more people up? And once they're awake, what then? I don't have the answers. All I know is that I'm getting stocked up on items deemed necessary in case something does actually happen. And you should too, because the government has proved time and time again that it will not save you. You need to save yourself. Do we start a new party? Is that the answer? Have we really got time to set up a new party, deliver the message to be able to make a difference? We may not have 4 or 5 years. Did you see the French president and Merkel were flown to Russia to discuss the war between Ukraine and Russia? The article I read briefly said that they were looking to stop total war. I'll look at it at some point, but it genuinely is really depressing and really fucking scary. Do you know what the most stressful part about doing these videos is? It's not the filming of it or whatever, it's choosing what to do them on. I mean, in reality, the issues that are going on are so fantastically huge, but the way I look at things, unless people start to realise the day-to-day stuff is a complete and utter fraud, how the hell are they ever going to get to the bigger issues? You try telling someone the world government is being formed. Go on, do it tomorrow, see what you get. You'll get laughed at, they won't want to listen, and if they do listen, there will be a glaze that forms over them because they can't fucking think for themselves. They'll think you're an idiot. But you ask them about football and they'll tell you every fucking minute detail. I hear people say, well, don't vote then. And I really get the let's not vote angle, I really do. But the way the system's set up, I'm not being funny, if 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count them, if only 5 people voted in this country, 3 for Cameron, 2 for Miliband, you know that Cameron would still claim that that's a democratic mandate to govern, and so will all the other MPs. What is the answer? I don't know, sorry, a bit of a ramble tonight, but leave any ideas in the comments.